even when the Lord puts it all together for you, you still got to walk in faith. Hello there, this is Pete Pawelek. Thank you so much for joining me for this edition of the Daily Devo. Don't forget about my website, pastorpete.org. You can sign up for our Daily Devo email there. You can sign up for our next Bible trip there as well at pastorpete.org. Ton of other resources. Go check it out. You can also contact me from my website. Today, I have been reading and reflecting in Acts chapter 10. What a great passage. What a great chapter of Scripture. I love this chapter. I have stood at Simon the tanner's house. I have been there in Caesarea where Peter went. And so as I'm reading through here, man, I'm just having all of these pictures and memories in my head. I would love to take you to this place. It is so rich in both Old Testament and New Testament history. And it's one of my favorite places when we go on the Holy Land trip. We go there our very first full day when we're on the tour. And man, it's just a great way to start the trip. But let me read the scripture that I want to reflect on with you this morning. Here's what it says. It says, Cornelius, verse 30, Acts 10, Cornelius replied, 4 days ago at this hour, at 3 p.m, I was praying in my house, and just then a man in dazzling clothing stood before me and said, Cornelius, your prayer has been heard, and your acts of charity have been remembered in God's sight. Therefore, send someone to Joppa, that's where Peter was, and invite Simon here, who's also named Peter. He's lodging in Simon the tanner's house by the sea. So I immediately sent for you, and it was good of you to come, so now we are all in the presence of God to hear everything you have been commanded by the Lord. I love how God put all of this together. And my point this morning that I opened with was this: even when God puts it all together, you still have to walk in faith. You really need to go back and read the whole chapter here, but God orchestrates this whole thing, right? He gives the Cornelius the vision through his prayer. He gives him the vision of where Peter is. He tells him where to go get Peter, or send his servants to go get Peter. And then Peter comes, and when Peter shows up, there's a crowd gathered. Cornelius has everybody together ready to hear Peter. How cool would it be to show up in a place and for everybody there to be just waiting to hear the gospel from you? God has orchestrated all of this. He's put it all together, but there's still a lot of faith involved. Faith on the part of Cornelius to send people to go get Peter and trust that he's going to come back. Faith on the part of Peter to go with these strangers over to Caesarea to meet with somebody he didn't know, right? There's faith in all of this. Faith on the part of those who've gathered together to hear God's message and to hear what the Lord has been speaking through Peter. There's just faith in all of it, even though the Lord put it together. So my encouragement for you today is this: whatever the Lord's putting together in your life, it doesn't excuse you from having faith. It doesn't excuse you from trusting in the Lord. And even if you can't see the plan as clearly as we do here, walk in faith, trust God, and in the end, it's going to all come together. I pray you have an incredible day, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Come visit me, pastorpete.org. We'll see you then.